secret. Hi everyone, welcome to Secrets by ManageEngine PAM. This is where we sit, discuss, chat, rant about the identity security realm in the hopes of exploring the secrets hidden within it. And we're happy to have you here. And for today's episode, we have Ram here with us, the head of product for ManageEngine's PAM suite of products. Thank you for being here, Ram.
Thank you, Naresh. Thank you for having me in the show.
Okay. So, on the topic of secrets, do you have a secret to share with us about yourself, Ram?
Yeah. So let me share my secret. Uh, I did my uh, engineering in the rubber technology discipline, which is directly opposite to the cybersecurity or the software development. After that, I learned software development by joining in an institution and joined everything. And I landed in Advanet, where they are openly recruiting any discipline student. So that's one of the secret I would like to share in the show.
Okay. And how many years has it been found?
So I have been here for the past 22 years. I joined in January 2003 as a engineering trainee in Advanced Development Center. Now it is Zogo Corporation.
Okay. That note, that basically means that you've been in the industry for quite some time now. So coming to the topic itself, compliance and its challenges with respect to identity security. Uh, how do you think compliance has evolved over the years, and how do you think the landscape for compliance itself has changed from your memory, and what has been and what is now?
Okay, the compliance is changing very rapidly. Like earlier, 10 years ago, there won't be much of digital exposures to any IT team or identity security in perspective. There won't be any MFA compliance or adaptive MFA or zero standing privileges, those things. At that time, the MFA will be like SMS tokens or email, 6-digit to email IDs. So, but today there are a lot of MFA identity securities and AI machine identities, those things. We need to compliance to those identities as well. So earlier there will be very less digital exposure to any IT team or any organizations. Now there are much digital exposure, where be it a social engineering attack or a different type of attacks, the organization need to be compliant in every other point. So I would say like the compliance is very much enhanced from in the 10 years ago.
Okay, so you would mention a few types of cyber attacks also. So do you have any insight on any recent data breaches that might have emphasized the need for a compliance measure for any business?
So I would say that we didn't mention about any recent attack. We didn't take it as a recent attack. Instead, we can take any attack. Like say, for example, if you take a ransomware attack. So the ransomware attack is basically the attacker will execute um, ransomware exe or MSI in the workstations or any servers by gaining the privilege of the user. By this way, they will be able to, the ransomware exe will be able to encrypt the data, sensitive data. So this can be eliminated by least privilege, by applying least privilege policy across the workstations, across the identities. For that, the compliance, every other complaint is requesting to adhere the least privilege policy across identities. So this is one example where if you follow the compliance, you can by somewhat you can be eliminate the risk factors of the ransomware attacks.
Okay. So what do you think are common challenges that organizations face while pursuing this compliance journey itself in order to be compliant, as you mentioned? Let it be any type of compliance, let's say PCI DSS or HIPAA or any other global standard. What are those challenges that organizations or an enterprise face?
Yeah, there are for IT teams or the compliance teams, there are a lot of challenges they are facing. See, for every compliance, they need to know what are the identities available in the entire organization, and these identities, who are they are going to access, what are the privileges. It is very difficult for them to consolidate all the identities, all the endpoints, all what are all the identities used by the users in the endpoints. These are the very, very difficult situation the compliance team is facing. First, they need to discover everything and they need to identify all the access available to all users. Without any tools like PAM tools or IAM tools or endpoint tools, it is very, very difficult for them to consolidate or to know what are all the assets they are already in place and the privileges they have, the identities they have. So these tools are very much needed for any organizations in order to be compliant. The compliance says that first you need to identify all the list and apply the least privilege policy across and enable the MFA for elevated privileges. Those compliance, if the list goes on. So these are the challenges any compliance team or any IT team face in today's world. And in addition to that, there are machine identities. Then AI is coming rapidly. AI agent will be there, and bots, everything is there. So the burden is keep on going for the compliance and IT team.
Right. So you mentioned the changing technology scape itself with the introduction of AI, increase of the types of entities and whatnot, right? So do you think frameworks that are in place right now, such as PCI DSS or such as GDPR, are keeping up with such modern cybersecurity challenges that are coming up right now? What would be your personal take on this?
Yeah, they are evolving as well. I would say that recently NIS 2 is there, PCI 4.0 is there, from 3.2 to 4.0. There are continuous changes where the modern technologies, they are implementing compliance for the modern technologies, such as they remove the password related compliance, and they introduce the MFA related compliances as well. They recently introduced the cloud entitlement related compliance. Earlier there won't be a cloud related, because there won't be a cloud. So every other organization will have only on-prem assets. Now everything is moving to cloud. We need to have compliant with the cloud related entitlements as well. So these are the changes. It's already coming into the compliance. So yes, I would say that the compliance are evolving and they are catering to the modern identities as well, modern environments as well.
So coming to the role of PAM itself, how do you think PAM or privilege access management as a concept would help organizations demonstrate compliance during their audits?
Yeah, definitely PAM is a must for any organization, be it a BFSI or manufacturing or oil industry or any other industry, education industry, because it's discover all your privilege accounts. It will just come to know that this is a very, very important question. So how many service accounts are there in your organization? That's a very basic question. So it is very, very tough for any CASO to answer these questions because they doesn't know. It's very important and it is very tedious to get the list of service accounts or machine accounts or privilege accounts, because any DB team or any application team would come and request for a service account for their application or for their DB to the IT team. They will create the service account, but it will be it is not a easy process to what are all the applications using the service account. So if any PAM tool can help the IT admin, where it will automatically discover all the service accounts, all the accounts, and it will give a complete visibility what who are all accessing the which privileged accounts from where, everything will be there. So the PAM will be helpful for this visibility, as well as you can also implement least privilege for every other privilege accounts. Say I would say least privilege. So whenever there is any privilege action to be executed in the server, at that time only the privilege will be elevated instead of having the privilege every other time. So these are the some of the capabilities in PAM which will help the compliance for the organization.
Okay. So are there any specific use cases or like customer from the customer interactions that you've had? Or do you know of any instance where you've seen identity security being pursued as the one thing for a compliance strategy itself?
Yeah, definitely. See, when I meet a customer in the RSA conference, so he said that so there is a compliance for the service accounts. They need to rotate the service accounts for any 42 days once, but in order to comply, they just do the same password reset because they don't have any tool. So they just rotate the same password for the service accounts in order to comply with the audit. But once they implemented the PAM solutions, they can rotate the service account password, unique password for each and every service account, and automatically push the changes to the services which is running in the server. So this way they will, so in order to just being compliant, they are really changing the password, unique password, each and every service account and push the changes to the server. This way, even if one service account is attacked or hacked, so it is not possible for every other service account to hack. But earlier they are compliant, but the service account password will be same for long. So they don't change the service account password for every 42 days. This way, this is one scenario where I can already mention there are a lot of use cases in PAM where they will be compliant using the PAM solutions, be it just-in-time elevation, least privilege, or zero-standing privilege, or the audit controls like who access what resource when from which system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these features are existent in the current set of PAM products that are probably in the market, right? So how do you see these? How do you see compliance requirements itself evolving in the future with the introduction of technology? And do you think products right now are suitable enough to meet those types of evolving compliance requirements that may come in the future? And if you do you have any suggestions that, or do you, or are you on the lookout for some kind of new capability that might help organizations comply with?
Yeah, currently in the PAM market, every other products will be useful for compliance, but down the line they will be evolving. Like say, for example, as I already mentioned, machine identities will be take over, AI will be taking over the human identities. So the compliance also has to evolve. So like compliance for AI agents or compliance for tokens, machine identities, certificates, PKs, those compliance need to be, the tools need to be support these identities. Cloud identities will be evolved. So the compliance will be evolving and the PAM tools also need to evolve to cater the need of this compliance as well.
So if you could change one thing about how businesses or any type of enterprise are approaching compliance strategy itself, what would be that one particular?
So I would recommend like, see, once you get the compliant, you should not stop there. So being compliant with any PCI or GDPR or NIS2, it is not like the compliance team is not enforcing to meet the compliance. So the organization has to uh, make sure the security posture of the identities, the environment, the perimeter should be more secure. You have to reduce the attack surface as well. For that, in addition to the compliance, you have to make sure that you need to educate each and every employee, workforce, work loads and workplace as well be secure, so that even if the compliance is there and you are compliant, there are possibility where you can get attacked. So for that, you need to educate the employees as well, be secure, and everywhere you need to be privacy. So all the compliance related, you need to follow those things as well. That's my one thing.
Okay, got it. I mean, that is all that I had on my plate at the moment. Do you have anything else to share, anything else to add, or any other suggestions to give, or do you want to call it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much for being here with us now. Looking forward to see you soon again.
Sure. Thank you very much, Nilesh, having me in the show. Thank you.